That question that you say, why do we still want to do it? What answer did you find?
Because of you, that song.
Yeah.
I think that, for me, that stands up as one of the best songs we've ever written. For me, lyrically, it's probably one of the best things I've ever written. And I think that if you can have a break of 8 years and come back and write, because of you, squander, and tear the place up, then it's obvious, like, we have a future because we can write great music together. And that is the only reason to do this, because, you can it's kind of like nobody needs the money that much that they'd rather just tour the world with playing old Skunk Anansie songs. It's just, that would to me be like a slow death, And so it was all about making new music. If we can write great songs, new music that we're like can't wait to play live, then that's the inspiration to kind of for the band to get back together and stay together.
Okay, then back to the new album. Is there a song that kind of gives you the same feeling on the new album as Squander or?
Death to the Lovers is an obvious one. My personal favourite is Love Someone Else and Victim.
Okay.
Those songs again are right up there in terms of the upper echelon of the top 10 Skunk Anansie songs. They'll be in there. Beauty Is Your Curse is a surprise one for me.
Yeah.
Can't Get By Without You, and a surprise one. I always really liked those two songs, but I always thought like Thinking Feeling was just such a fucking tear your face off song that was, and then these other songs just sneak up in there, they're like, Beauty Is a Curse and Can't Get By Without You. There isn't a bad song on the album, there really isn't. Every song to me has got a storming chorus, and it's did I say about that last one? I think this is.
Let you down.
I'll Just Let You Down, yeah. No, but I'm saying that I love Back Traffic. I think it's an absolutely killer storming album. But it was always a kind of underground rock album. It wasn't like an album that's like full of singles. Like Wanderlust was full of singles. It needed to be because we were coming back. Black Traffic was just like an in-your-face album because that's the mood we were in, and we were very anti-singles at that point. We just weren't interested in writing singles at all.
Why not?
Because we just weren't in that mood. Because we don't get loads of radio play and blah blah blah. We wrote that album for our fans.
Okay, fair enough.
That was like we wrote that one because we just didn't give a fuck. We didn't care. We were just on tour. We wrote a rocking album. We loved it. All of them were too heavy for radio, and that's great. Although I Believed in You became a smash.
We had a few.
A few singly things.
Yeah.
So it was a very successful album. And then this new one, it's interesting. It's just the electronic thing. I was really into writing big choruses for this album. I don't have an idea of what's a single or what's not a single. I leave that to management and record companies. I have no idea. But I really love getting the choruses right and writing really good choruses. And I think in that way, this album's a bit of a masterpiece for me because it has lots of different flavors. There aren't two songs alike, and I always love that. They're not two songs that are the same.
Sure.
But it's very deep. It's very emotional. It's also very rocking. It's also quite political as an album. And it's also kind of fun. There's a few fun tracks on there as well.
Well, you mentioned a couple of things I want to talk about. Well, for one, the political aspect of it. You've never been shy about having politics in your songs?
No.
So, I wrote a couple of things down from a few songs. If you take, for instance, Bullet. I wrote down, but I couldn't quite, I'm not sure if I wrote it down correctly, but when you think about the cause, think about the costs. Is it, or the other way around?
When you think about the cause you want to save. When you think about the cause you want to save. Is it really worth it?
What inspired that line? Well, are there
just what's going on right now? It's funny how we wrote that song and then Paris happened the first time around and then Paris happened again the second time around. For me, it's just kind of something that seems to be like undulating, underneath our society. You know, the chorus is like, nothing's going to stop him and nothing's going to stop you either. You know, it's just this idea of like, you know, you're just going to keep fighting each other until one of you doesn't exist anymore. But that's never going to happen. There's always going to be two sides. There's never going to be, one culture is never going to completely wipe out another culture. Sure. One religion is never, ever, ever going to completely wipe out another religion, you know? And that's the reality of the situation that we're in. It's like we're dealing with people who want to wipe each other out, but they can't. You know, Christianity is never going to be gone. You know, the Muslim faith is never going to be gone. The Jewish faith is never going to be gone, neither are the Buddhists. You know, they all have an equal right to be here and an equal place on the planet. And you know, this mentality that we've got into over the last 10 years that, you know, one is better than the other and one doesn't deserve to exist. It's like, I don't know what people are going to think is going to happen with that, because it's just what's going to happen is everyone's going to get wiped out.
And when it comes to these, because they are very, very real lyrics, if you can put it that way, but do you, for instance, know what she's talking about in every song? Do you discuss the lyrics amongst each other?
We discuss them sometimes. I mean, obviously Skin's the main lyric writer, and if there's something that we really don't like, then, you know, we'll say so. But mainly Cass.
Mainly Cass.
Mainly Cass will be the devil's advocate, and we will argue. We argue
about politics within the band, because we have very differing. I would like to say that I'd like to think that we're kind of. I'm not sure about Ace these days, but we're kind of more left wing. I'm not sure about Ace, but you know, he's very secretive.
Yeah, we don't know where he is or what he's doing.
Yeah, it's very secretive. But you know, at the same time, that's the most important thing. You know, we can thrash out our ideas within the room with each other and not judge each other for it. But gone are the days when we can do that as a band, you know, where I can just thrash out all of my politics, you know, my politics to do with Palestine and Israel or whatever. You know, I'm not carte blanche, you know, one way or the other. And I've been there to both countries and I have very strong opinions on it. But if I voice my strong opinions on it, one sentence is going to be taken out of context and I'm going to be completely, me and my band will be completely, you know, sidestepped and slagged off, and I'll be getting hate mail and blah, 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 because you're not allowed to have an opinion anymore. You know, the internet is full of like chicken shit people who don't want to stand up for who want to be opinionated but don't actually want to stand up and show their face and show their names. They just want to criticize because they're a bunch of cowards. So they'll say something on your Facebook page, something really ignorant, really racist or just stupid, and they won't stand up and be counted for it because they're using some stupid fake name, you know, they're just trolls. And so, you know, the internet has just allowed personal opinions, you know, the most ignorant part of personal opinions to just breed like a virus, you know, which is a negative side of social media. So, and I think that in many ways it's really halted opinion, you know, and opinion is really important for humans because that's how we, you know, by discussing things, by talking about things, that's how you form opinions. And we do that as a band. But we realise, you know, that's one of the big changes about us being a political band. We have to be very careful what we say in front of the press nowadays. Because, you know, even, what's her name, who's, she's an amazing, she's been an activist for many, many years, and she made one statement and everyone's calling her like sexist or homophobic or something. And you're like, that's like calling Angela Davis, you know. You know, that's like calling Angela Davis anti-black, you know. Sure. So, you know, it's really sad. I think it's really sad.
In return, though, do you get certain reactions from your fans about standing up for yourself or standing up for what you believe in, that they appreciate what you do?
I think a lot of people really appreciate and identify with a lot of our views and identify with the fact that we still have. It's very difficult to be political and to be in the charts. You know, the media is all owned by, you know, right-wing kind of TV people or companies and whatever, and so
don't want you telling anyone.
They would rather
their message is.
Sure.
Yeah, they just rather have you blinded to watching a Kardashian ass than actually having a political viewpoint and standing up for that. So a lot of people really, our fans really do appreciate, you know, that we stand for something, you know. But I do think it's quite difficult to have a political opinion nowadays.
Finally then, because my time's run out, we started the interview about with the way music is consumed nowadays, and you admitted to be guilty of not listening to an album in full at times. So how do you want people to listen to the new Anansie?
Oh, of course, from top to tail. Well, we make it from start to finish, and we make it really easy for people to do that because it's only 37 minutes long.
Yeah, and every song is a different
Every song is
style,
different style.
It's a wonderful. You honestly, you get to the end of an architecture and you go, do you know what? I think I'll put that on again.
Put that on again. I mean, but honestly, realistically, of course, we're bound we're going to say that. But you know what? I'm not an artsy about however people want to listen to their music. They can listen to it however they want to listen to it. If they want to listen to individual songs, they can. If they listen to them, you know. So who am I to tell people how they should listen to our album? It's like, no, we've made the music, we've put it out there. Just let it go.
But you can't listen to it on shuffle.
Yeah, don't listen to it on shuffle. That would ruin the whole experience. That doesn't work at all. Shuffle, they should just ban the shuffle. The shuffle button is just for when you're running in the park. Exactly. And you've got like 20 songs, you don't want it. That's what shuffle is for. Shuffle is not made for albums. No. They should just ban it. They should just not have a shuffle album.
You can't shuffle a vinyl, can you?
You can't shuffle a vinyl.
It's in that order for a reason.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Wank.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.